Hey, Industry 4.0 friends. Apprenticeship schemes are the best way to get practical field experience. And I'll say it again, apprenticeships are the best way to get practical field experience. I wouldn't be where I was today if I hadn't spent half of my studies actually working 6 months on and then 6 months in the classroom doing my foundation engineering program. Because you see, yes, there is a foundation theory that you need to acquire for the basics, but you have to be thrown into an actual operational environment in order to connect the dots between what you study in the classroom at university or at a vocational college. Basically, what you are studying in the classroom has to be put into practice in the field. And the best way to do it is to actually put on the hard hat, the safety boots, the overalls, and get out there in the trenches, on the factory floor, or out there in the middle of nowhere, climbing up poles, laying cables, troubleshooting automation gear. And it is the best way to actually see how theory is applied in the day-to-day, to understand what the real world challenges are, how we have different specializations and disciplines that need to come together from time to time, and to, again, get a 360-degree view of what operations are like, whether it's in manufacturing, whether it is in industrial services, whether it is in utilities. Doesn't matter, but get out there and do something about it. And it's also very good mid-career to actually get back into the field. Very often we reach a certain level in our career. We may have been promoted, or we may have been fast-tracked through a particular position because of our qualification, our theoretical piece of paper that we get from a university. You may have received a master's degree in engineering, and that's given you some kind of like extra boost to get into middle management. But trust me, after spending some years in a management position, you need to get back out into the field because, again, things change around you, technology evolves, practices evolve, decisions that are made in the headquarters in the ivory tower are, again, impact the people on the ground, the organization that is doing the operations. And if you're disconnected from that, it's going to be more risky when you need to make those decisions. So yeah, we covered some of this in tonight's YouTube live stream for the Factory Automation Insiders group here in France. And I really want to say thank you to Marc Akoto and to Rashid El-Sabiti for your organization. Thanks for bringing us together, Rashid. And Mark, thank you for hosting on your Restream and on your YouTube channel. And I definitely invite all of you to go and check Mark's YouTube channel out and to get familiar with this Factory Automation Insiders crew that we've got, this great gang of very diverse people. Look, I'm probably the only one who produces exclusively in English here on LinkedIn. I know some of the other folks, Rija, you definitely were doing English and French on LinkedIn. And some of the content out there is very much geared around French industry or Francophone industry. And we do need to deal with language barrier. And I think by finding an intercultural compromise, there's so much that we can learn from each other. Now, it's taken me half of my life living here in France, almost 25 years now. Funny to think about it. But you know what? I've got to understand the psyche, the culture, the practices, the good and the bad here. Not everything's bad. You know, we like to say that, oh, it's doom and gloom and that there's a bunch of bad habits and bad practices, but it's not all bad. Same goes for other cultures and other countries. And it's good for us to be able to come together from time to time and learn about what we do, what we've done, what the consequences of certain key decisions were that were political or economic in nature, and how industry has shifted over the last 30, 40, 50 years. It's fascinating. And the other thing that I would then add is that we also need to take a look at each other's disciplines from time to time and to shake things up by spending more time with people in other disciplines. And again, that comes back to a really great way of tackling things when you are doing an apprenticeship scheme. You should be rotated through different functions and at least spend some time with some other disciplines that are not your core discipline. This allows you to become, over time, a T profile. So you have a T-shaped profile. You have a very deep specialization in your métier, in your actual core discipline, but you also have a broad knowledge and a broad grasp on other disciplines. And T players are really important because they allow us to help find common ground between different areas of specialization. I'm convinced of that. So yeah, I think in terms of skills development, capacity building, all right, learning from a book is one thing. Learning in a classroom is one thing. Being able to, get the low-level details and the fundamentals, go for it. But take that and get into apprenticeship schemes, whether you're going to be a technician, an engineer, or even a manager, right? Go through the process of being an apprentice and have a tutor, someone who can guide you and show and learn by doing things in the field on the factory floor. And then I would also say that in addition to being an apprenticeship and having an apprenticeship scheme in your organization, is also have mentorship programs. So mentoring and being an apprentice are different. Your tutor or your master when you are an apprentice is a different role to having a mentor. A mentor is someone who is going to actually broaden your awareness, okay, and is really the person that will connect you in to the collective consciousness in the organization and will help you on the way of acquiring institutional memory. Mentors are great because they're going to expose you to their experience, their understanding of that experience, stories of actual lived experience in the past, and of course, plug you into their network. And mentorships is a good thing. And if you're young and just starting out, I would sincerely suggest that you find a mentor. Mentorship, apprenticeship, two different things, and both are important in terms of getting practical experience early on in your career so that you're operational and that you can continue to practice lifelong learning and lifelong application of skills as technology changes around you, as the economy changes around you, as the organization changes around you. And you can be part of that change and have a stake in it. So yeah, what do you think? Love to know. Leave a comment below.